Are we live? Yes, we are. Good morning, ladies. We are on the home stretch for the Her LinkedIn Challenge sign up. So if you haven't checked it out yet, you really ought to check it out because it's really not just about LinkedIn or creating an amazing profile. It's really all about raising your standards. And the reason why I'm pushing so hard with this is because I've been there and I've been in a situation where the odds are pretty much stacked against me, at least appear to be stacked against me. Now, I want to tell you a brief story about how I went from being unemployed, claiming an unemployment check for quite some time, and being rejected 1,231 times in terms of applying for jobs, and even McDonald's rejected me, to now being the top in my field, like the top expert in my field, and getting flown all over the world, getting contacted by Fortune 100 companies to come teach my craft and get some insane opportunities like contribute for Forbes or Entrepreneur Magazine. It has nothing to do with adding qualifications or the perceived opportunities out there. And I learned this the hard way. And the whole point of this LinkedIn challenge is there is a shorter way. There is a way to avoid all the trial and error that I had to go through. And I just want to show you how to do it. Because here's the thing, it took me like 15 years to achieve all of that. But it's not because I had to accumulate career capital. Like the career capital that I needed to be doing what I'm doing, I always had it of what I do. I just didn't know how to get to that point, how to showcase it, and how to position myself for that next big opportunity that I wanted to achieve. And that's something that literally, like, you don't need to keep knocking your head against a wall to figure it out. You see, I went from the Great Recession, back in the day, my husband was deployed. This was 2007, 2008, give or take. And I don't know if you remember times. We didn't really have the shortcut of LinkedIn, or if it did exist, it wasn't a thing back then. But I remember applying to 1,231 jobs. Let me backtrack even, right? I had this job company setting executive salaries and doing some pretty flippin' cool things with compensation, which was my thing. And one day we all got called into a conference room, and my boss wasn't there. My boss's boss wasn't even there. This stranger was there with these manila envelopes. And I'm like, cool, they're going to give us some fun assignment. They're going to send us abroad. They're going to send us to Abu Dhabi or something like that to set salaries, which would be really, really cool. But no. Those were our layoff packages. Now, I don't know if you've ever been there, but there's something incredibly humbling and humiliating about being asked to leave your office immediately after receiving this envelope with a cardboard box. Like, we went back to after we were given our envelopes, we were all ushered back to our desks with cardboard boxes and escorted out the building with 2 security guards. I'm like, what the hell, man? Like, really? Really? I've given all this time, effort, and dedication to this company, and now I'm being ushered out with 2 security guards. It was embarrassing and humiliating, but that wasn't actually the lowest point, you see. And it didn't really help that my husband was deployed and my dad had just passed away. But what was really even more humbling than that was what ensued, because over the next few months, I tried everything. I literally applied to 1,231 jobs. And I got 5 interviews and 0 callbacks. Now, talk about humiliation. Not even McDonald's took me in. Not even McDonald's accepted my job application. And I vividly recall walking into the employment office, after I'd applied to all of these jobs, right? This is a few months in. And yeah, I had to be there. I was there at 5:30 in the morning because they opened at 7:30. But at this point, there was already a line that was around the block. So I wanted to make sure that I was there on time. And it was my turn like 2 hours later, and I go up to the clerk. I show him the list of all the jobs that I applied for in those last 2 weeks, and I show my resume, which shows my education, that I went to Tufts University, which is pretty. And he looks at my resume, he looks at the job descriptions, McDonald's rejection right there. He's like, gee, I guess that expensive East Coast education didn't really pay off, did it? And I was just freaking crushed. Like, I didn't even make it out of the building. And I just collapsed and started sobbing and bawling. I just felt so dejected, so worthless. All I wanted to do was contribute to the workforce, but it felt like the workforce was just screaming at me, we don't need you, we don't want you, you're worthless to us. And all I wanted to do, like, I had all the good intention to contribute. I wanted a job, any job. I would have taken a McDonald's job. But nothing. Like, all I kept seeing was rejection. And in that moment, a woman came up to me, and I'll never forget this because it made me change my mind. And she was a complete stranger, but she had been behind me in the line when this clerk had said what he'd said, and she heard it. So she comes up to me and like she puts her hand on my back, and I'll always remember her because she was like dressed fully in orange. I don't know why, but like she was kind of orangey haired, orange sweater. And she says, "Hun, don't listen to him. You go out and prove him wrong." And I have no idea what it was in those words of encouragement from a total, utter stranger that really shifted my mind instantaneously. And it made me realize it wasn't that the workforce was rejecting me. It wasn't that I wasn't wanted in the workforce. It's just that I hadn't really cracked the code on how to get that job and how to get that job that I really wanted. And I'm not kidding you. What happened next? The next job that I landed was literally like my way beyond the reach dream job. And it was because I stopped doing what society was telling me to do and apply to online portals and submit online applications and do this whole rigmarole that we're being told right now you need to be doing if you want to get rehired or not be part of the 3.3 million unemployment claims last week. I realized that the system is broken, and it's still broken. It still doesn't work. But what ensued for me when I realized that, and I said, you know what, I'm going to stop doing these things the way that the world is telling me to do them, and I'm going to go ahead and do this the way that my gut is telling me to do it. So I immediately ceased all online applications and submitting forms and resumes, and I sat down and furiously write it out what my dream job would look like and how I wanted to become an expert in my field and what like this dream opportunity would look like. And I kid you not, within months, I landed a dream job at the Inter-American Development Bank, which is the equivalent of the World Bank for Latin America, in Washington, D.C., like in the heart of Washington, D.C., managing people and projects and budgets, like huge job. This coming from someone who was months before McDonald's. Like, it was mind blowing. And this job in particular was the envy of all of my peers because back then I wasn't a path, but of course we're human, we grow. Like, the whole point of living is growing and learning and experiencing. So your dream changes over time. And eventually my dream job changed, and I was like, now that I get the gist of like how this all works, I want to really bring it back to compensation, like, and do the salary stuff and the negotiation stuff that I love. And literally my next job, I applied the same exact mechanism that I'd applied to get to this dream job, this first version iteration of my dream job. I applied same methodology, a senior compensation role at an Ivy League institute. Like, mind blowing, because I didn't even have a compensation certificate at this point. But I landed it because I used my own gut feeling. And here's the thing, my own gut feeling, I know it is your gut feeling too on how to land that dream opportunity. Because if you really think about it, you know deep inside there's something that you're cut out to be doing. You can feel it probably in here or in the pit of your stomach. There's like something great that you're being called, right? The fear of not having a job, the fear of not having an income, the fear of not fitting in or not doing things told you should do them because the way they tell you is supposedly the way that things work. And I get that completely. But if you're probably watching this video or if you're following any of my work, you also realize that there's something missing. And I'm here to tell you that that thing that's missing inside of you is you listening to your gut feeling, which tells you there is better. There is a bigger opportunity. You're just not connecting with it. And that's all it is. It's just that the system that we've been given is broken. And people don't even realize it. And they keep applying and they keep landing mediocre jobs. And they don't realize that your odds of, on one end, getting a job through an online application portal are next to none. Like, there are very, very few companies who actually hire through an online application process. And even if they do, the application is really a formality. You need to connect with your dream opportunity before you ever even polish up your resume or submit an online application. And this is why at Salary Coaching, we focus so heavily on your LinkedIn profile. Because before anyone ever looks at your resume, they're going to Google you. And they're going to say, you are broadcasting your professional and personal brand 24/7 on LinkedIn. And this is where, if you position yourself, your career assets, the words that you use, and the message that you're sending, ever so subtly, to align the opportunity that you want, it's no longer going to be your dream opportunity and you passing each other like ships in the night. It's going to be, oh, your dream opportunity is going to be coming from that way, and it's going to see you as you're inevitably going to put yourself in the way. And the way we do this is, on one end, by strategically crafting your profile so that your career assets showcase you in the light that you deserve to be showcased, but then using some pretty incredible hacks so that we can trigger the other end of the LinkedIn algorithm, right? Because there's a side where you and I network, but then there's the other side, which is where hiring managers, headhunters, and recruiters hang out in the Talent Solutions platform. And both platforms speak to each other, but they don't speak to each other very well. And they do on this end, on the networking side, to really make this side more efficient in attracting you as the dream opportunity, or as the dream candidate for that dream opportunity. Whether we're talking you landing or bringing in more clients. And here's the craziest thing. Most people think that you just, by adding tens of thousands of people to your network, or by just sending cold to anyone and everyone as the title of CEO or manager, you're going to get connected and you're going to land your dream job. Now, even just saying that to me sounds ridiculous. What's the point of having a massive network if you don't actually know those people? See, for me, it's all about having deep connections. Deep connections, you don't have to have tens of thousands of people. I don't. Yet I'm still landing some insane opportunities for myself, and so are the ladies in Salary Coaching for Women. You don't have to have millions of friends, right? If they're deep connections, then it's friends. But odds are you're not that person, right? And then the other thing is like those cold messages. Oh, they irk me. When someone sends me like this cold message, like, hey, Olivia, would you like to double your business in 2 weeks? Well, let me help you do this. And I'm like, you didn't even connect with me. Like, you didn't even build any kind of trust. Ugh. I hate it when people send those canned cold messages. They feel so spammy, so sloppy. But that's not what we do. In fact, part of one of the perks in the challenge is that you get my scripts that I've used to land myself opportunities, like I did with Google and Forbes and CNN, so and so on. And I give you my scripts that I've used myself. But not only that, these are scripts that women have used to land their dream jobs at Fortune 100s, that they've used to not only get a raise and get promoted, but also to like double their salary and land $500,000 raises. So I've tested these scripts and everything that I'm going to be teaching you in the Her LinkedIn Challenge myself, but we've also put it to the test with thousands of women, thousands. My question really to you and my encouragement to you is to say, like, stop thinking and caving in to the fear. Now is not the time, or I can't do this, or I'm not, like, whatever is holding you back. There's a sense of fear to it. And that's because you're thinking that you hold all the cards, that you hold all the information with regards to how a certain outcome is inevitably going to be. And this is where it's your decision, but it's you who needs to acknowledge that you don't hold all the cards. Not know what a simple mind shift can do and what kind of outcome it can produce for you. And this is what I'm inviting you to do. Whether you do it with us or not, the thing is, if you allow your mind to run with the wild horses of fear, that's where you're going to end up. You're not going to end up where you want to go, right? And I've said this before, the mind can only have one master. And that's either this mind running itself, or your mind being used as a vehicle for the higher version of yourself that really knows what to do. Call it the universe, call it spirit, call it God, whatever you want to call it. But you know that there's this like higher version of yourself that is continuously raising your standard and just knows that you're here to contribute for a greater cause and that you have something specific to be contributing in this world. Or you can let your mind run itself, and it will run itself down into survival mode, because that's what our mind does. It's survival. It's not thriving, right? When you lead with this side of you that wants to thrive versus the one that wants to just survive, you find the opportunities. You see the like opening between the clouds and you go for it. And that's what I'm hoping to encourage you to do here. Again, you don't need me, but guess what? I've got like 15 years of doing this, in which not only have I done it for myself, but I've done it for other women. And I can help you expedite the process. Hence, the 2 weeks. It's only 2 weeks. What I've taken 15 years and understand, so that you can bypass all the wasted energy in trying to charge in one direction and fail, and then charge in another direction and fail. And like all the trial and error that I had to go through, I want you to skip it, because there's no time to waste. You don't have more than this one lifetime to experience this life. Maybe you have many other lifetimes, but this time right here, right now, you're here, and this is an experience. This is a life that you really ought to be taking advantage of. There's no time to waste. You see, I'm so glad that I went through all of those experiences, because now I get to share it and showcase it with all of you. But I want you to be in that position for other women, for other people as well. I want you to be able to take all of this career capital that you've accumulated in your field and be able to help other men, people, anywhere. But this is a tiny little step so that we can magnify your professional brand, position you as the top expert in your field so that you can start getting over this process of like, how do I get noticed? How do I land my dream opportunity? And start helping and start doing what you do best, shining in your genius zone. That's what I'm here to help you with. So we are in the home stretch when it comes to joining in the Her LinkedIn Challenge. I surely hope that if you're watching this or if you're watching the replay, you'll go ahead and go to herchallenge.com and sign up, because there's not many slots and there's not many days left. And it's literally 15 minutes a day for 2 weeks with me, my entire team. And you get a plethora of tools that I invite you to check out at herchallenge.com, which are going to be absolute game changers and raise the standard of your career. No matter what you do or what kind of business line you're in, they're going to raise your standard. We're going to level up your game. It's on deck and it's calling you. It's saying your dream opportunity is here. It's time for you to step up. Now with that, I got to go get my workout done. So I am going to see you in that challenge, won't I?